Good morning, folks. It's 8:36 a.m. on the ninth month, 14th day, 2025. Yeah, let's get that right. Let's see if we're double check that we're all running right. And I'm gonna go right into it. We ain't gonna play much games about it today. It says that I'm live. I'm gonna double check my sound settings, and I'm gonna get right to it. Got a lot to cover today. There's some really nasty storms coming to FNQ, north end, just south of Cairns, in case anybody was wondering straight off. And South Island, New Zealand's about to have a battering. They got a series of storms coming over the next 2 weeks. It's going to really it's going to cause a lot of havoc in the spring growth of things. Yeah, it's really going to strip leaves and a lot of tree falls and stuff to be expected. Is I'm just looking around here. This is a fairly fresh imagery that I've got up. Here's from like 3 minutes ago. Yeah, I know this is CGI, but I can tell a lot by this. It tells me cloud temperatures. And by looking at this, I can see what's going over and what's going under things. So I'm watching stuff here that's got Antarctic type of dynamics to it go over the top of tropical stuff. Well, this is happening here just over Yeppoon. And the corridor of flow that I'm seeing there for Cairns is really spelling out where their action is going to go. You see this square here? It's fairly easy to see, and I'll do a better shot of it on a different image. I'm just right now, I wanted you to see the areas in question here is where the hand is here, and where this area is here. We're about to have some big falls. Okay, so theirs is more eminent. So I'm going to go to your forecast right now and get that part done. This is your accumulations rather high in these pockets over here. Gave you plenty of warning. And if you had rain already, you still got 10 to 12 centimeters to go. I think we shall go higher toward 15 centimeters because of the tendrils I'm seeing out at sea right now. So tide times are going to matter when this stuff starts to run towards into these river like through Mary's Weenie over there and into this creek over here and then out to sea. What time the water gets to Russell Heads out here is going to matter. So know your local tide tables, please. And that's where local information will be what you go by. Because do we risk safety workers? No. And there's really your only big thing coming until you get to the end of the month. You got another batch. But so I won't concern myself with that now. So let's run your part of things. And New Zealand, yeah, I've got a little more, quite more in depth actually to show you. So what I'll do here is, well, first you're getting your own as well. So let's just show you this event, and we'll call this an event. There's no big system spinning. It's just the meeting of tropical conditions with Antarctic conditions, stuff that came all the way up the coast. It's in an in-between layer of the atmosphere, and that's what's making things very volatile. And you got a lot of radars pinning things towards the coast, like those moves you see with the NextRads and stuff. They're very evident in the cloud formations. As some of you may notice, I got a couple YouTube things pulled up on my top tabs. And that's to me to show you a couple methods of starting fires remotely without you being there. You know, one of them's the Lockheed Martin one, the T-Laws system, lasers. And those are a rather large platform. The other ones are very small things. And I could easily put in private hands of land grabbers. And the burning I'm seeing today was horrendous out in Western Australia. I'm just letting this run. And right now we're into Tuesday morning early hours as this thing just fucks off. Right? Rain. Just big solid rains. It's going to lead to heavy tolls, right? And some of the cells that come through is going to be dripping over a centimeter every 20 minutes. And I don't expect them to last long. Okay? But a little batch of that's going to cause a lot of grief. And yes, I'm sure you've noticed the Solomon Islands have been non-stop raining as the monsoon seasons come and the spring rains. And then as we head towards, this is the first day of spring right here for you guys. What equinox says is your first day of spring. And of course, right along the Capricorn line we kicked off, which is right about here. We're pointing at where the Capricorn coast starts. What a beautiful area it is. My. So now I'm going to go over here, right? Perth. You got big batches coming, and these are going to come in squalls. The winds are going to be heavy. I'm expecting lightning down south there. You see out Albany. Some of my followers down there always want me to give them a heads up about that. Okay, so heads up. Gonna be a lightning show. What do you do to protect yourself from that? Well, you don't go running outside, running around with a golf club in your hand or an umbrella. You might want to, if you have bad electrics, unplug your sensitive electronics. So none of power surges blow them out. Yeah, computers, television. We're real bad about here in England when we get lightning storms, fires in houses and stuff. So we've learned to shut things off during our big events. So you might want to consider that. There's very, very, very heavy winds. Some of these gusts you're going to be experiencing are rather bad. If I go here to the accumulations of these winds over the next few days, you'll just think that ain't nothing to shake a stick at. That's miles an hour, by the way. Yeah, Higgins. Yeah, that's miles an hour. Okay, so let's give you that something you're more used to. 81 km/h wind gusts to be expected, and some of these are going to go higher than that, especially as we get towards the coast and the Margaret River down there, where things tend to hem up a bit. You know, the passage down a river gets narrow and winds are going down it, then the wind velocity will increase directly proportionate to the constriction of its flow. There's a mathematical formulas for that. And if you're curious about them, learn them. See how vast this wind band is. So it's not a day you're going to say, well, we're just going to drive all the way to Geraldton from here. You're going to have very high risk for buffeting vehicles and all this. And it was gush. The gush was bad. Especially as I looked in right over here, coming up on the 17th. Let's see if we can get to it. I have to remember all these things. So you ain't out of the woods with this one storm. You've got a series of comings in. And this is to be a windy day. The gush coming inland. It will be kind of harsh. And hello everybody, and I hope everybody's okay and getting their heads around the terriblenesses that are going on in the world today. Terriblenesses. Yeah, that's really good. Wednesday afternoon, very, very bad weather for you guys over here at Perth. This is about your lunchtime, right? This is bad. This is your wind gusts coming to the city center itself during the day on Wednesday. And so watch yourselves. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. What would you do to protect from that? You bring your objects in and around on your verandas and your outsides. You know, you protect your animals. You take care of them. And help your neighbors. Watch your trash cans flying around. Watch even walking can be very dangerous when trash cans are blowing around. And I see that here all the time. When stuff comes roaring up the Irish Sea, man, and channels into the Mersey, it gets rough here. Very, very rough. And your big windy days as well down here in Ballarat, Beaufort, to be expected through Thursday and Friday as this system moves across the White and dives south. It's really going to buff it. At the western shoreline and the sticky up bit areas, you know, the taller mountain range that comes along this coast here, yeah, it's going to hem a lot of wind and rain towards that area. It's going to lead to some real fair totals for you guys during that part of the event. You were non-stop as winter type stuff coming still at Tassie with totals on the next 2 weeks coming over 200 mils. Actually, the badness. You don't want to see this, do you? You don't want to see that. This is in two big events leading up to these terrible totals, and expect these numbers to increase as the days go on and we get closer to that another main event that's coming. I'm here about the 28th because that's in the middle of an event. So I'm expecting those numbers to rise. And again, do we have any fresh powders for the skiers? Well, let's have a look. I think some of your best surf this week's going to be Western Australia and down along the Southern Australia coast, if anybody was curious about that. See, it's not any super new powders. So any rains you get up here is going to do a lot of melting. And so that melt has to be added to the flood potentials for areas. Radar-wise, it wasn't us showing anywhere. You know, we have the blaster out here, of course, Willis Island doing its beamings. With Cairns, it's just a couple cells that are hanging about and I'll call this whole area the Cairns area, right? See how the desert stuff is creeping over? There's a beam line that's going to hold that up from coming straight over the top of you, Port Douglas. So I'm expecting this to direct more toward Woodville. But by sundown time, the intensity of those storms should die down quite a bit. See this creeper up here? I guarantee you that's coming up there, and there's enough daylight for that to still stay active for quite a few more hours. So I expect this to kind of track along the A1, because these mountains here are going to act like a barrier. And there's also an EMF line there that's also helping to contain. It's kind of going up here. You show it pretty good in this cloud image here. If I go on the set view and I come up here, you can see some of the waveforms that are pitting things toward the coast. Here, let's stop that. I can get a more obvious shot of this for you. See that scalar square here? So let's go ahead and squiggle use. I'm going to move that up a little bit, just one tad, and you can see the EMF in the plasma, the difference of how the microwave itself perturbed the molecules of nano size particles, the preformed particles in the sky that they use for geoengineering. Oops, I didn't plan to do that. Oh, it's because I had that in high. So I'll go over here and mark you. Come here, squids. Right, you see these lights here. Now, is there a radar right here where I'm pointing? Because I'm picking up his signature. Right there. Okay. This forms a gap. So as the stuff coming across the desert hits that gap right there, she comes up that way. Because it's a resistance. It's like you made a mountain range that's higher than the normal what it's coming. So it has to lift. And the tendency of the flow of this hot air here, that's around this area here, you'll see it rotating a bit, is also steering things. That's why I say that's going to slide up that way, that one storm, but the ones down here will be pinned by this side of the line here, right? So it has heavier falls along those lines, and it's increasing the volatility of the area. If I run this a bit faster, you'll notice the rotation here. You'll notice curves coming across. These are various NEXRAD stations kicking on and modifying the weather. They may turn them off on here where you can't see them, but you ain't turning off what the glitch does in the clouds when the wicked glitch flies again. So I can see that the radars are on up here, right? You see that lightning there? They ain't showing a cloud or nothing, and you got lightning over here. So I was saying they've got the sensitivity of what they're showing you on the radar down so low that it's becoming almost a laugh. You're not even getting accurate imagery to determine your own safety. And isn't that what you gave BOM a budget to do? Is to release such images from their radar they pay for. And all I see it doing is modifying the weather. And that's very sad to me. Well, you know, when the news it pushes a bunch of agendas that don't really add up to nicenesses for everybody, then I gotta say, question everything you watch. It's very sad. You see that there coming over toward Fishery Falls? You got a really heavy cell's going to hit you in about 15 minutes. 10 minutes to 15 minutes. In Cairns, you ain't out of the woods. That will come over the top of you here a bit. I don't see how that's going to fully dissipate. So I'll be shocked unless there's a microwave on over there I don't see. Let's zoom straight in on Cairns here a minute and get a good look. What kind of perturbations have been done to Cairns? You don't want to see this. Oh my God. No, we won't do that yet. That has to come over the top still. There's definitely some haze line here. It's the only kind of zoom I can get sometimes is this one. So, let's have it. Hey, radar on here. See if we can narrow it in. Right there. See this center point here? So that's a shave. Things that come in have to go like that. They can't just naturally come in with convections and mix with stuff back here and then rain it out like it's supposed to. This rain is very specifically going where the geoengineers want it to. Not to end the drought, not to to grow a field, but to cause mayhem, to land grab, to get you tired of living some places, I think. To raise floodplains by adding silts to riverbeds is also, and valleys, is also a great way to land grab. Because they tell you can't have no insurance. Yeah, that'll make you move. See something out to sea here, these wedgies? You got a ship out here. He's like, no doubt about it. I'm just going to go over some of the geoengineering and we'll get back to your showing you the what's planned. In New Zealand, yeah, I told you about this comment a while back, so don't act surprised. And don't ever accept that things can't be forecasted if I'm doing it. See that wedge there? In here? Line there? Right here, see that? You have a ship out here. See that haze here? See these lines? Plasma disturbances. See that one there right over the hemisphere? So when things come in here, they're really going to back up here over the top. And that's why you're going to get heavier condensation falling. The condensates will form more heavier droplets across from you. And even when you look inside some of these things here, you can see the formations that you would consider to be the chem bomb formations inside these microwave popcorn clouds, like that one. See the circle inside the center of it? That ain't normal. Look how many squares in these clouds, like here, in that area. It's geoengineering cut and dry. And then I can look through here, and I can pick out radar stations by the perturbances. You could park a radar on the side of the road and pan it around. It's going to disturb the atmosphere, like here, to here, and here, and here. Right, that's a radar doing it. Been reading these things for many, many, many years. You ain't hiding your lies in the skies from my fucking eyes, that's for sure. That's for sure. Look at all the crap off the coast here. Cascading chem. Lots of stuff to nucleate. Lots of preformed nanoparticles. Where do I come up with that word, preformed nanoparticles? CIGI 111 Geoengineering. CIGI 111 Geoengineering. There's this document here called the Paris Agreement and Climate Governance document, which I'll happily provide you a link in Hulk. Really recommend you have a good read of this. Don't expect a short show from me today either. I'm going to show you why I say what I do. If I go to page 13, past where Mr. Burns here, that's his name, Mr. Burns, excellent blocking the sun. He's a senior fella. Come on, fellas. Don't block the sun. So I'm going to go over here to page 13. I'm going to go to the first paragraph, last sentence. And you're going to see potential delivery vehicles for stratospheric sulfur dioxide injection include, read it yourself, aircraft, artillery shells, stratospheric balloons, hoses suspended from towers. This is what puts particles in the sky. And if I come down here and I see this here, this Philip Rash's written testimony to the U.S. House Committee on Science and Technology hearing, and this was actually done in December of 2009, and this document was put out February 4th after the congressional break that they have for Christmas and New Year's in 2010, and you'll see these words here. There have been suggestions, right here, for injecting preformed particles of what? Particles of other chemicals. Other chemicals. Do you see silver iodide listed here? No. You see something that I would not want to have in my sky called titanium oxide. We're in the high concentrations in the presence of water. It's a very toxic substance. And well, I don't trust our oppressors. I don't trust Bill Gates when he just wants to be a trillionaire. That's the game they're playing. They're playing Who Wants to Be a Trillionaire. They all do. The only one that don't want to be a millionaire is a billionaire, and it's time they played that game. It's time they became that. So there's lots of things on here. Presence of aerosol sulfuric gas may condense into pre-existing aerosol particles. In other words, it makes acid rain. That's what that boils down to say. And this is from a Geophysical Union, 1977. 77. This is when we were fighting acid rain and Clean Water Acts of the world. Okay. We did not want acid rain, and this here is all about injecting sulfur into the atmosphere. Yep, with the vehicles. That's why I call them chemtrails, Other chemicals, preformed particles. It says it right here. So these are your peer-reviewed papers here. This is what the people require for proof. I'm not calling them sheep. It's just people haven't been informed. The news ain't telling you about this because the news has no integrity anymore. None. It's gone. We have to report things ourselves. So stay honest, please. Bull atomic scientist online. Go read this one. Oh, you're gonna love that. Yeah, they're trying to tell you everything's your fault, but really, the fault is this. That's a burnout. I'd have to open a second one. It's absolutely horrendous to burn. I'm not going over that yet. It's this stuff's fault. This is what's. They're heating it with microwaves. You heat stuff with microwaves, you get hot. It's like warming. It don't take me too much to figure that out. See that rotating there? That's rotating hot. That's high pressure. And that's pulling a lot inland that can't go anywhere. It's running into walls of EMF. So let's run through again a little bit more about what's going to occur as I zoom it back a bit. I've gone over you. I've gone over you. Okay, New Zealand, guess what? It's your minute. And I'm going to have to run you 2 weeks. Okay, so I'm going to keep you on, Tassie. And I'm going to turn on some of this particle animation. It's a bit much on the ice. But I'm going to add the pressure to the mix. So let's run this shit. Whammo. I have to refresh my screen. I'm going to say hi to everybody while this runs. Take a sip of my coffee. Let Mr. Squiggles rest. I've been trying to do some of these updates for the last few days, and I've been having my internet signal in a walk as I'm going live. So I had to tell you guys stuff and to give you screenshots as best I can. Yeah. Hey, Matt Lynch. I see your hand waving over there. I can say hi to everybody. Hi, you Tanya. Hi, you Carol. Hi, you Sarah. Hi, you Burden. Hi, you Brace, Tracy. Or Bernard and Sharon. Both of you. Does she have your testicles in the bag too, mate? Oh, or you have trust issues, both of you. Flags, hi. I like the name. Hey, and Nicola, hi. Hi, Sharon, and hi, Flags. Hi. We to your moment of suerte yet? Have we hit Wednesday? There's something about this 17th, and they're really hitting a lot of bad weather for a few people. Tazzy, you get a big belt in here coming, and it says about the midnight hour of Monday into Tuesday morning, right? So you guys got the blasters coming. And the wind's probably running about 30, 40 kilometers an hour, buffeting, gusts hitting you about 60, about that time. And what's down here in the bottom of the screen, you see the slider, it tells you dates and times. Well, all my times are done in universal time. UTC, so figure it out. I had it in my head when I'm telling you numbers. Why did SA have to do something weird? Like give a half-hour difference? What the hell is wrong with you? Really? The Creaser said, fuck, we ain't having it at all. Yeah, there goes some signal. Did you see when it does that? It's buffing. And so let me make sure I have nothing else on Wi-Fi right now. Okay. We have all the signal. Yeah, soon I'll put the GoFundMe up there so you guys can contribute towards data. Because when that runs out, this show runs out. I get to go down and bring all my documents in for work. Monday. I'm so excited. Yeah, I persevered. I'm working all this. See, I told you this. I'm gutted. I'm not there today. But not Monday. I'm happy about that. Very, very happy. See light at the end of my tunnel. I just want to work, man. He's a jag. You see that right there, New Zealand? This is a belting line that's coming through here on, this will be about, coming towards lunchtime on Wednesday. Yeah, your time. This will be about, 8 o'clock at night. And we're heading into the overnight hours. That thing comes toward the North Island and gives you a big old smack. And big cold air coming up with that. So brace yourself. Your chesticles are going to get a bit reactive to that. Your chesticles. They're always set. It's holding it, man. Yeah, it's not happy. You know what I'm getting ready to show you? I'm having a bit of a freeze on my signal, so I'm just going to jump it along in a few hours. And this is another wicked day, 21st and 22nd. Absolutely. This is where you're picking up some of your heaviest rains, South Island, New Zealand. You wouldn't catch me down in Arthur's Pass for nothing. Unless, of course, you want to go all the way down Arthur's Pass in like a canoe or something, or start your walk up on the hill and see how fast you can make it out to sea. Oh, yeah, it's going to be bad. Earthquakes and all that, I'm expecting it. Nothing super duper high, but in the fives easy. In the island along here while they're moving it around on the 22nd. The dynamics of EMF in the mantle is something I've been able to use to elevate risks of quakes. You guys say I predict them. Right, it's just a matter of interpretation. And as we head in there, we got a big storm going across the bite it that day too. But I don't see, by reading these pressures here, there's not a chance in hell this can go that far to the west. So a lot of its moisture is going to come inland. So I'm coming on the beginning of the month. I'm expecting a rather large storm to be impacted New South Wales and Vic when that's going on. This is not a time to take things lightly with the geoengineers. And if we can't learn to read the satellite images itself, the accuracy of your planning of your days forecast is going to be very difficult for you to do. It took me years to learn to read these, And that's what's happening. And the totals at New Zealand, I should have done that a little better for you. And give you some of your wins as well. But during this part of the event here, on the 21st and 22nd, it was very high. Very, very high for you guys here. Now go a little bit lower than this here and come down there, and you get that. So during this event here in New Zealand, come on, it's low. They know what I'm getting ready to do. That's after the 18th. Now this is the first comments, is this here. And it's about what I said it was going to be. Almost near exact. We had it in. Let's take it down here. Yeah. The EMF got you well pinned. See if we can see why. This is why. See that? Okay, this is easy to show. Why? Because it looks like something, there's a device on down here that shut all your EMF off. They shut this area off for flow. See this here, this square of energy, and then that one there, that's a viscosity line. You have a radar there. Or a truck. Look at this signature here, isn't this nice? Having any quakes around here today? Kakar? That area? Your EMF is extremely active. So they've really put a heated flow that's pinning everything there. Look at this here. That wedge. What's there? Device. If we leave them up to their own devices, they're going to use them. Okay? Look at the EMF signature in that. Bzz, bzz, getting fried, Kiwi style. Look at how the waveform pins north and then stops. Those clouds ain't going nowhere. They're nucleating constantly. This one's boiling up towards that. The radar's definitely panning east to west. You can tell by the condensates suddenly moving that direction. So that means the energy of the swipe of the ore, so to speak, in the end of the water is pushing towards that direction and causing a flow to occur across there. Same with this EMF here. Everything's pinned along this spine of beautiful mountains here. And that's why you're going to get such heavy totals along the coast there. It's been pinned. About like here in Tassie, it's just as bad. Same move. Same exact move, except their condensation line is here. So the wets are here. Mostly around this area right here actually is the easiest flow for your condensate. What do you have, a mountain range out at sea here? Simulating this, because see this flow here? I'll slow it down. This coming out of chemtrail comes out. Pow, right there. And EMF comes down and starts blowing out the clouds right here. And it's pointing right here. Right at this station here. And I can pull a map up and show you these places. And I've got it all well mapped out. I took myself 18 hours one day typing into a map so I can do that for you. So I might as well just do it. Let's see if I can get this to load. There might be a bit of a pause in the broadcast while Google Earth loads. I want to show you, see if that station is there. I need to know, because I'm seeing his signature in the clouds that's saying something. Let's see, who is that, Tazzy? Is there a station? Oh, fuck yes, right there. All right, where it's pointing. You got this. That's a big blaster there. What I'm seeing is a next red. So maybe they got a radar truck pulled over here next to this big boy. That's one of your Jorn network atmospheric heaters. You got an X-ray kind of in line with it here as well. Let's double check this image. They're saying it's kind of near Maria Island. As we do sleuthings. Yeah, it'd be this one. It's on the mountain, isn't it? Mother Nature's bomb. Look at that, boy. That's just begging for a big Bertha driver. Fly. There it is. Hey, let's just cut down a few trees. Give it a better frying view. So nobody will notice them dying around it in a circle. What a fucking shame. Yeah, you got a lot of devices there. And New Zealand's at head. I ain't got all yours dialed in yet, sadly. It's a sleuthing. And I'll finish it at some point. Where'd you go? Where did New Zealand go? Hi. Oh, that's what happened. Happened. Well, you went sideways on me. So, do you have a radar over here where I was picking up a signature? Well, this is Birding's Flat, right? With the big devices down here that we know about. But I haven't really nailed the next rad down there yet. I see its signature, right, over here. But as you can see by the blurriness of the image here, it's difficult to tell those grain silos and stuff, so I ain't got that device down yet, so don't count on it. So anyways, back to this. The terribleness is coming across the sea. The chemtrails for all to see. The fires that are going on, very, very, very wicked. Yeah. And totals that are like this, I never like to report. Okay, but it would be doing you an injustice not to tell you this is over 600. Some of these is 3/4 of a meter, and this is right near Arthur's Pass. Oh boy. So there's your heads up, my friends. Heads up. Okay. Now I want to talk about this. So I'm going to turn some of this off. Because what triggered me was this. I was looking out here and I seen some smoke in the air. Right? So I go, what the heck's going on? Is there a fire? And there sure was. So I go back, this is September 12th. And you're going to tell me that that's a wildfire in grids like this? It's so obvious. There's no squiggles needed to show you the long distance connections even between some of the lines here and here. It's absolutely appalling. And I want to go to the 13th. Look at this pattern of these trapezoids here. You think that a man can do that naturally? That takes a super precise GPS system. Kind of like that one they're trying to put in Minaj right now. Things that can remotely control drone-y things. With supreme accuracy is what this would take. Now there's quite a few remote devices that can be used. Things that can be controlled that are very inexpensive. And this is the ones from today that were showing up on satellite. It's kind of an evil grimace looking cloud there, isn't it? It's devilish times, man. You can expect devilish things to go on. And well, I took out one of my heroes this week. And I'm fighting harder than ever. Yeah. When we can't even sit under the tree and have a fucking civil discussion, then we have reached a point of two ideologies that cannot coexist, and therefore they have declared war on my morals, and I will answer that call. Now I'm going to show you something here. This is called a Terminator flamethrower dog. Yeah. Hi. Look at that, man. Come on. Oh boy, fuck you, fuck your house, fuck that koala, fuck the goanna, fuck you, have your land, no, get off it. Unga bunga bunga inga binga binga bunga. Look at that shit. Flamethrower dog. Okay? But it ain't worth. It costs you about 5K to have that and equip it like that. And you would just pour gasoline into a tank. And there's this thing, of course. This is a flamethrower drone. Don't tell me everything has to be a Lockheed Martin laser. Matter of fact, they're rather large. You know, to see one of these in private hands, I'll put this on images here so we don't have to see a whole video of that. The size of the platform and the power of things of this is not just going to fit in something small. It would fit in a military jet or something, but have we seen the military jets over there? I haven't. I'm looking, you know. And so therefore it's telling me something on the ground is coming along burning or something close to the ground. You know, I say, what the hell else could do that? And these are in some of our transport planes. It's C-130. It should show pictures of those. You'll have these devices here. It's a very large platform. It's nothing small. Yeah, could these things be doing it? Yes. Can these things be doing it? Yes. What's likely? When you have private developers involving the military where a kid might tell on you, or involving one person that you're bribing severely that doesn't give a shit about everything else that burns you out. Look at that. Yes, I want one. Of course I do. I'm a man. Look at that. You just fill it up and go. You make your own mix. We learn a few things from Charlie, don't you know? You better stay away from Copperhead Road. This ain't jumping in the air with joy for burning. Look at this. Hi, happy, happy, joy, joy, joy. Yeah, that would be me, the operator. I gotta say that. Would that be a way to start your campfire? Hang on a minute, it's raining. I got this with my Terminator dog. Hey, Dino. Bring him back to the Stone Age. What a fucking shame. So, you know, there are many devices that can do this. It's what is likely is something like this. I used to think it was all done with the jets and stuff, and to me, logic is telling me different. And there's been many days of this going on out here. It's absolutely disgusting, isn't it? And why does this go on? Because we let them. Because we let them kill our heroes and then use that agenda to lock us down further. Yeah, you think this isn't going to lead to such comments as, why was that knife man allowed on the train, which came from Donald Trump? I mean, they're coming for a total lockdown of our travel. Everything you do, you're going to show your face at the computer. They even use Facebook. Ain't that true? Certain platforms, the kids under age of 16, you're done on here. Since when wasn't it the parents' job to parent their children? Why the hell you gonna punish the rest of us because you perverts out there are messing with things? I call them perverts. That's right. Hashtag exposed to 28. Once you go down to your government houses and declare that your dissatisfaction with some things, for heaven's sake. In devilish times, it's going to take some godly people to make some terrible sacrifices of their own existences to fix this, to fix these chemtrails. We're going to just have to stop. We don't support such ideas, do we? Somebody says global war, you smack them in the head. We ain't putting up with lies. I saw a terrible thing in the clouds down here in the middle of the Arctic region, like you would see in a fire. But there's no smoke in this cloud, but yet something is acting like it's burning out at sea. And that's telling me they're running experiments. And they're running experiments inside a matrix of stuff that we breathe. Other things breathe. This falls in the ocean. Everything exists off of what's in this sky. And how dare us play God with it? How dare it even fund science that controls Mother Nature? This is just so wrong to see. And yes, those fires look man-made. And look at the chemical catalysts over New Zealand today. One of their biggest cities, totally choked out. Totally choked out. It's the start of some of that EMF in Kaikoura. So the radar wasn't even turned on fully then. I bet your ears are ringing down there. If there's a big quake down there, I'm going to know why. You know, do we always have right turn clouds? Or are you just blind to the fact that man-made weather is real? The conspiracy is actually the cover-up, isn't it? But when they tell you point blank they want to put other chemicals in the sky, what do you expect is going to happen? They're going to give you fairy dust? No. They say here they wanted titanium oxide. I don't even see silver iodide listed, but yet that's all that comes out of the mouth. When you people talk about cloud seeding, that's very low level stuff. This is cloud creation. You know, cloud seeding changes the dynamics of a cloud. You either make it rain or make it stop. Right? We agree to that. Make a hurricane less. But instead, I'm seeing it used for cloud creation and to make them stronger and make it worse. Making it worse. It is absolutely horrendous, today's EMF. It's absolutely horrendous, these fires, and it's absolutely horrendous, the denial that's going on in the heads of people that don't think that the news is going to tell them stuff that the sponsors of the news are doing. And as I'm looking here at the sickness mix over Perth and this whole corner down here, my heart goes out to these people because I know they're being poisoned. I know the color's on, and I know we must say no more, no more, or we the system's heart. So quit acting like one to the big pimp daddies and acting like who the next pimp you're going to elect is. And it's time to pimp slap the pimp. I'm going to just leave you with that image. Stay safe. Big love. Peace. What a shame.